Hey, One Stop Co-op Shop fans, Mike here with a Kickstarter preview and review. Today I'm looking at Adventure Tactics, which is a JRPG-themed, sort of Final Fantasy Tactics-inspired game that's a bit of a dungeon crawler with a branching storyline where you level up your characters in a wide variety of classes and with a bunch of cards, kind of going into a sort of deck builder system with dice-based combat. We're going to start with what I love, and the first thing, the biggest thing, is the class leveling system. You start out as one of 5 basic classes, but from there the sky is the limit. You can level up in any class you want. You can become stronger in your base class or add in all these other crazy classes. And like in Final Fantasy Tactics, you can build up your levels to work toward these elite classes that give you even newer abilities and special powers. The combos are awesome, the variety is amazing, and this is the kind of game I can totally see myself playing through multiple times just to play around with different characters. I also like the way you get to build your deck with the cards you get from these classes. I like that you can call your deck frequently. Every time you level, you can remove a card, so you can really keep it tight and focused on the exact things you want to be able to do. Another nice thing is how accessible and quick the system is. Setting up a scenario takes maybe 5 minutes. There's very little terrain, so things get going very quickly. And the scenarios are generally pretty short, like 30 minutes to an hour max. Another cool thing is the variety in the encounters that you fight. Each encounter has a main objective plus a bonus objective to give you something to kind of strive for that you can get some extra rewards for. And they each generally use a unique AI deck that'll activate not just the boss, but also all the other monsters, so it's really a streamlined, quick system to resolve. And the gameplay itself is fun and easy. You have 4 cards in your hand. You can take 2 actions, basically playing 2 cards. They'll usually let you move or attack. Maybe you can heal or other things, but it's all very straightforward, very easy to learn, very quick to play. They also have some nice elements in the campaign play. It's clearly influenced by Gloomhaven, but I still like it. When you beat encounters or don't beat them, you get to add cards themed to that encounter to your little encounter deck. So you might have an enemy show up again to get revenge, and these aren't full fights, these are like little just effects that happen because of what you've done in the past. Now, with all those positives being said, there are some concerns I have about the game and also some things that might steer you away depending on the kind of gamer you are. First is the initiative system, which is very similar to Aeon's End in that you shuffle 2 boss cards with 1 card for each of the heroes and randomize it every turn to see who goes when. If you like that system in Aeon's End, you'll probably like it here, but I didn't enjoy it, and I don't honestly like it that much in Aeon's End either. I thought for this game especially, if the boss goes at the end of a round and then again at the beginning of a round, it can be a little too punishing in some of the scenarios and lead to you auto-losing without having a chance to respond, which I didn't find too much fun sometimes. Another potential concern is that most of the battles don't have too much terrain. Now, some do add it and some add a lot, but the blob one, for example, that I did in my playthrough has basically none. And the way they try to address this, especially in boss encounters where you might just want to stand next to the guy and keep on hitting him, is to have the bosses move in a random direction, so you kind of have to keep chasing him down. But I don't know if that's fully satisfying. It kind of works, but I almost wish that there was more dynamic movement in the game. My biggest concern with the game, and one I really hope they address, does deal with the branching storyline, and specifically leveling and power levels within that. As the campaign currently works, you can sometimes fight encounters and sometimes not based on your performance and your choices, but the only way you level up and become stronger is through fighting encounters. Now, sometimes that means that when you go to an encounter, your level will be higher than it should be because you've just happened to grind through all the encounters possible. If you watch my playthrough, you'll see this in action because I kind of destroy the Blob King too quickly, and I think I'm a little bit over-leveled. I got there a little bit later than maybe I should have. So I love the branching campaign, but I do hope that they tighten it up a little bit and make the level more tightly controlled. Now within that, another potential concern, I absolutely love the leveling system, but we know it's really tough to balance such a crazy number of cards, so I'm sure some classes are going to be super overpowered and some will be underpowered. Now that's not the worst thing in the world, especially if you play several times. You can kind of use things that fit your playstyle. You can min-max if you want to. With this many level up cards and this many perks and things, there's going to be combos that they maybe weren't able to test for, just something to think about. So should you kickstart this game? I'm not entirely sure. I think the gameplay is fun and accessible, leveling is awesome, super fun, gives you so many options and so much control over your character, and the encounters are pretty varied, although you will see the same starting encounters as you go through the campaign again. At least on a single playthrough, each mission is going to feel pretty different. But I do have balance concerns both in the leveling and the classes, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deal with those entirely because of the complex way they've chosen to design the game. I also feel like sometimes combat is a bit more stagnant than I'd like, and even though I don't love a ton of like terrain and things to set up in a game, I sort of wish there was a little bit more here. And just a final note, even though the dice do tend to level out for most of the colors, this is still a luck-based game. The initiative could still mess you up. You could still roll really badly on your dice, so if you just don't want to deal with luck, I'm not sure if this is the game for you. But if you love Final Fantasy Tactics, if you love tinkering with your characters and building up their classes, you're probably going to love this one, although for me, there were some other things that made it not a complete hit. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.